Hello everybody, welcome to Nightworks Art Explorations. I'm working with graphite and watercolor tonight as I draw an evil Crackodaemon. Crackodaemons are evil spirits, demonic, most foul creatures, the Crackodaemon. Crackodaemons can be found often in large cities, hanging out next to gas stations. They can be seen around bus stations and hanging out near libraries. Often you can find the Crackodaemon at a busy intersection, begging for cash. But you have to be careful, the Crackodaemon. They are strong and will break into your car and steal all your stuff so they can get more crack. So for this demon, I am drawing a bear skull, and then I added stuff to the bear skull. So I'm making up a neck, and I'm accentuating the spinal bones to make it look like little ridges, spurs along the back. Using just a standard 2B pencil on Canson XL watercolor paper, 140 pound. It's pretty cheap, and it holds up really good. I'm surprised. I like it, especially for this kind of work where I'm just making up stuff. Giving the Crackodaemon a fierce weapon, which he may or may not try and pawn off later for cash. And here I'm imagining that the sword is fiery hot, so it's varying my line weight on the tip of the sword. I'm going to make it fiery, smoky. I'm giving a Crackodaemon some tattoos so he looks cool. I had to give the Crackodaemon some nipples so he could have some piercings. Everyone's got pierced nipples, I guess. And then I used some object nearby to draw that moon. When you're trying to draw like a circle, just walk around your house or apartment or whatever and find something that has a round base, like a cup, a bowl, whatever, and just put it down and use that. And here I am just sort of fudging around trying to get his hand gripped with rage and anxiety. And I gave him a little watch that he can check his text messages and see what his pulse rate is, maybe, or something. Okay, so this is a new little watercolor kit. I bought an empty travel kit. It's a little metal box with a bunch of plastic trays. Got on Amazon for like 10, 12 bucks. And then I took these Schminke watercolors. I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's German. I was thinking it was Russian, but I think it's German. Schminke. I had tubes of Schminke watercolors, and I squished the tubes into the pans. And then I'll just use it like that so that it's small and compact and you can see me paint with the watercolor in the shots. It's also a convenient way to carry them around. It's pretty fun. So these Schminke, they weren't cheap. The reason these watercolors are more expensive is they have higher pigment count. When using them, you can sort of see they're just a better quality than the stuff I usually use. The colors are a little punchier. You'll see when I get to the Crackodaemon's face. It has almost an opaque, but not really, but it has a real dense coloration. It's very interesting. I do not think you need expensive anything to make art. The student grade watercolors would yield a similar Crackodaemon, so I don't know. But I just got some because I do a lot of watercolor work. So here's his orange face, and you can see how sort of dense it is right off the bat. It's pretty dense watercolor looking thing. And because it was so sort of dense, I could just push it around the rest of his body without having to load up the brush too much more. Just pushing the stuff around, spreading the color, getting in a base layer, sort of like a mid-tone. And then I come back in with a little more of the orange on the underside opposite the light source. Here I'm working on the little fiery hot sword. Putting some yellow in there and some more red and orange. You can always blot your watercolor if you want to give it a little spotty or spongy effect. Just sort of smush on it like I'm doing right here. And then you can come back in and rework on it. I'll put the materials I'm using in the description for the video. I think this is a number 6 round. I have to go take a look. Synthetic. And you can see when I put the color in, it was really dark. But with watercolors, they tend to lighten up as they dry and get it sucked into the paper. So, you know, I work in layers. And here I'm adding some Naples yellow on top of the oranges. I'm trying to give it kind of a fleshy, kind of burnt fleshy look. Using blues and Payne's grays for the shadow. Payne's gray is a gray that leans towards a blue. And just throwing some blues in. Sometimes when you're putting in shadows, you can use the complementary of the skin tones or the object you're working on. That can work. So in this case, orange and blue. So I'm just going to using a blue-gray shadow tone against the kind of orange-yellow skin set. And the orange skin also pops against the kind of blue-purple background. Reactivating. I have a little sprayer. Sometimes I'll just spray water into the little kit. Coloring in his bat tattoo and his fluffy kitty tattoo. I switched to a smaller brush. Put Mom underneath it. He's got his nice pentagram Mom tattoo. I like the idea of the tattoos kind of looking faded, like he had them for a while. I'm sticking in some purple shadows on the hands. So it's like a warmer shadow tone versus the cool blues I was sticking in the other parts. Just differences. Either it's because I want to have separate shadow tones next to each other, or I'm thinking about where maybe the skin would be pinker due to blood, like hands and ears and noses, fingers, stuff like that have more blood flow, so they tend to be a little redder. Putting in some little highlight-ish lightening up with some Naples yellow. And some little bounce light areas with orange. And again, this is just practice, just having fun, creating this little demon thing. I was thinking about a story in my head about how he was running around his house with that sword and his mom kicked him out because it was catching the carpet on fire. The Crackodaemon. Alright, so now I'm inking it using my cheap Chinese ink marker things, pens. They seem okay. I'm inking it because, I don't know, I just like inking. I don't think you have to ink everything, especially when you do watercolors. You can leave it soft or more realistic looking, but I just like the graphical nature of inking stuff. I guess all the comic books I read or read, that kind of works just fun. I like the inking process, it's fun. Just makes everything pop a little bit. I can go in and add some density for extra shadows. Helps them pop off the background. Some little hatching. I don't know why I'm always kind of throwing little hatches on stuff. Getting the nipple rings to pop. Just working on some finer details with the tiny pen. More hatching work. Here we go. Now I'm just going to put in some white using a jelly roll. I think it's what it's called. Pen. It's a white pen. And just little bits really help some areas pop, like a specular highlight from the moon. I don't really want to overdo it. Sometimes I'll put it in and then smush it with my finger just to give a haze, like a glazing. Then I'm coming in and reinforce some shadows with a big gray marker. And then that's a fun watercolor, a Crackodaemon. I hope this was inspiring and maybe let you guys in on a couple of fun techniques when you do your own creations. This same process can be used for anything, so give it a shot. Thank you, and look out for the next video. Bye.